Sim racing really does kick you in the teeth sometimes, doesn't it? Today has been one of those days. iRacing has dealt me a couple of cruel blows in the Ferrari Fixed challenge at Lime Rock Park. Not one, but two races ruined. These were races that promised so much, but ultimately delivered very little through no fault of my own. After last week's encouraging performance at Summit Point, I came into this one full of optimism. A couple of hours later, I'm left feeling disappointed and deflated. We're starting race 1 in P8 with a qualifying time of 52.2, but it's incredibly tight. There's less than 1 second separating John Gomez in 3rd and Niels van Duyn in 13th. Right, enough talk. Let's get on track so we can see my day get ruined by a catalogue of catastrophes.
The pace car is off. Be ready.
Oh, well, I've been completely caught out there. I was waiting for the lights to go green, but everyone else took off. In particular, Kevin Kuiper's behind me. He was 10th on the grid, but he came charging past down the outside. We've lost one position. We're going to lose another. Fernando Saavedra on the inside. I've got no choice but to leave him some space. He has made the pass, exiting T1. There's a car rejoining from the grass in front. That's Mika Engelking, who started 6th on the grid. Luckily, all three of us behind him anticipated that. We were able to get on the brakes and allow him to rejoin safely. And now we're approaching this horrible chicane for the first time. It's an absolute nightmare trying to get a GT3 car through here. And look in the rearview mirror, Matthias Hermansen considered going too wide through there. I'm grateful that he didn't. It's hard enough to get one car through there, never mind two side by side, but we're already approaching the end of the first lap here. It's an ultra fast lap at Lime Rock Park. Saavedra taking a look up the inside of Kuipers into the final turn. That's brave, but it looks like Kuipers is heading for the pits. I wonder if that's to do with the start. He did charge past me before the lights went green.
Car ahead.
Oh, there's an incident in T1. The yellow flags are out. 3 cars involved by the looks of it. There's a gap to the left. Oh, but our route through has been brutally blocked off by a rejoining Tom Jackson. And it's so difficult to get back off the grass. It's like ice here at Lime Rock Park, and we've lost loads of positions. It looks like Jackson's race is done. He's pulled off to the right, but we've dropped right down the order. Yeah, so disappointing. We survived lap 1 unscathed, but then it unravelled at the start of lap 2. Now watch Dan Pavelka in the blue number 4. He's going to go around the outside of Yutaka Takizawa, but there's contact. The pair of them spin, and then Tom Jackson behind has no choice but to spin too. Jackson tries to rejoin in a hurry. He runs right into Mika Engelking and then goes the other way and clobbers me. So frustrating. I felt sure I'd guessed the right way. Now let's take another look from the chopper cam. Now watch the 2 cars in front. There's the contact. They're both spinning. Somehow Pavelka manages to save it. Tom Jackson not so lucky. Then runs right into Mika Engelking and then gasses it, blocking my route to freedom. We're rejoining the live action on lap 5, and we actually weren't affected too badly by that turn 1 incident. We did pick up a little bit of damage when we collided with Tom Jackson, but the car is still drivable. Others weren't so lucky. Several drivers were forced to make pit stops for repairs, and as a result we were able to climb back up into 9th position. Now we spent the last 2 laps swarming all over the rear of Al Steen. We're quicker than him, but we just can't find a way through. I'm going to try and get a fast line through the final turn, but we give the curb an almighty whack. That was a close call. Yeah, these Ferrari GT3s don't like curbs at the best of times, but look how violent that clout was. Scary stuff. Well, that mistake cost me more than a second, but I knew that I was quicker than Al Steen in front, so I knew that I'd be able to reel him in a couple of laps. We're now on lap 8. I'm within 0.5 of a second again, and he's also being slowed down by a back marker, Niels van Duyn. Meanwhile, and ever present through all of these laps has been Andrea Guerrella in my rearview mirror. He's never dropped more than half a second or so back. But the longer we get held up by this back marker, the closer he's going to get. And Van Duyn's made a big mistake into the chicane. He hits Steen. We go left. Somehow we get around him, but we've lost a lot of ground on Al Steen. Yeah, another scary moment. We're already carrying damage. One more slight knock could be curtains for us, and it almost happened here. We're hard on the brakes, and we just managed to avoid the back marker. approaching the end of lap 10, and once again we've closed in on Alstein. Now I've decided that the only possible overtaking opportunity is at the end of this long straight, so I'm concentrating on carrying as fast a line as possible through that final turn in the hope of pulling alongside and tucking it up the inside. Sadly, we're not quite close enough on this occasion, but that was a dress rehearsal. So we're going to fast forward to lap 12, where I really get close to Steen. Through the chicane, we get a much better exit. We're going to be right on his rear spoiler now. And as much as I think that Alstein is slowing me down a little bit, I also believe that the driver in 7th, Matthias Hermansson, is actually slowing Steen down. So if I can get past Steen, I feel confident I can get past Hermansson too. But this is our best opportunity. We've carried a lot more speed through the final turn, so we pull out to the inside line. We're side by side. I'm going to brake a little bit earlier. I don't want it to be a dive bomb. However, Steen has run out wide anyway. We've got the inside line. We should get the overtake complete. We have done. We're up into 8th position, and now we can target Matthias Hermansson. As I said just a minute ago, it felt like Hermansson was the slowest out of all three of us, so I feel confident I can reel him in here. Let's see what we can do as we approach the chicane. Meanwhile, behind it looks like Alstein has got his hands full with Andrea Garella, so that'll work in our favour too. But look how close we are now to Matthias Hermansson. I'm aiming to pull exactly the same move out of the final turn, so we've got to stay as close as possible. Oh, but Hermansson's lost it!
We're in the middle, 3-1.
Oh, I tried everything I could to avoid it, but we've been wiped out completely. This race is over. How disappointing can you get? We were looking so good. We've got the hamburger flag. It's undrivable. Absolutely gutted. We were having such a good race. We were looking really competitive. Then Hermansson loses it right in front of us. I brake as hard as I can, and actually I get clouted from behind, which is what finishes me off. Yeah, it was Andrea Garella who landed the killer blow. Let's ride on board with him now. He had plenty of notice that there was an incident happening. He's actually off the gas here, but then he still runs into the rear of me. Really frustrating and a bitter pill to swallow. I was enjoying the race so much. I felt really confident I was going to get a good finish, but it was over in an instant. Well, after pitting for repairs, I did come back out to complete the final 2 laps and finish the race. I'm going to cross the line in 11th position. So disappointing. No ill feeling, though, to Matthias Hermansson. It was an honest mistake made under pressure. These things happen in racing. Right, let's check out the classified results. There we are in 11th place, just missing out on a top 10 finish, but a fastest lap in the race of 51.8. So we were reasonably competitive. So it's got to be worth another try, right? Well, the one thing I really wanted to do in race 2 was qualify a bit further up the grid, and that's exactly what we've done. We've managed to put it on row 2, qualifying P4 with a time of 52.1. Now, the front 3 all did 51.9, so we're only a couple of tenths off them. We could be in contention for a podium here. So we've got to forget about the disappointment of race 1. That's in the past now. We've got to look forward to another 15 minutes of fury at Lime Rock Park. Now, we got caught out a little bit at the start of race 1 when several drivers gassed it before the lights went green, so we need to be a bit more alert this time. The pace car is in, and it looks like we're underway. The 4 cars in front all gassing it. The lights are green. We are underway at Lime Rock Park. It's not the best start from me again, but at least we've only surrendered 1 position this time. Paul Alexandre Boussel started 5th on the grid. He's moved up. He's actually moved up into 3rd because he's tucked it up the inside of Pato Silva too. Silva fighting back there side by side through the left-hander. It looks like Silva's got 3rd position back. Boussel's going to try and tuck it up the inside. There's contact. Silva was almost sideways there. Well, it hasn't taken long for the gloves to come off in race 2 at Lime Rock Park. Into the chicane for the first time, hard on the brakes. But I'm really happy with this start. We're in 5th position. We're looking strong. Lewis Carl, the pole position man, is out front. He's being followed by Norma Ivanicki in 2nd position. Pato Silva 3rd and Boussel in 4th. Well, I said how important it was to qualify further up the grid, and this is exactly the reason. This happened just behind me on lap 1. That's Sho Masaka losing control and taking out Stan Lever. Then later in the lap, the number 9, Mako van der Lack, getting it all wrong and running into the barrier hard. Rejoining the live action at the start of lap 3, we're still in a comfortable 5th position. However, we have dropped off just a little bit from this front four. It's now 1.2 seconds to Bussell in fourth, but we've lost one of them as the race leader, Lewis Carl. Carl out on the grass to the right, that puts us up to fourth, and look at Bussell in front. He's going to try and move up the inside of Pato Silva into the chicane. He's surely not going to make that stick. There's contact. Oh, he sent Silva into the wall. Meanwhile, we're going to carry a lot more speed up the hill. All of a sudden, we can challenge for second here. No, Bussell's not having any of it. He defends into the right-hander, but we're up into third. Yeah, let's check out the replay to see what happened at the start of a chaotic lap 3. Now keep your eyes on the leader, Lewis Carl. He's just going to get a bit out of shape. Exiting this left-hander, the rear steps out. Oh, he clips the grass. And from then on, he's a passenger. And then it got even more spicy. Watch the red number 5 of Paul Alexandre Bussell. Tries to tuck it up the inside. Then he tags the rear of Pato Silva and sends him spinning out. Returning to the live action at the start of lap 4. We've already seen one ambitious move into the chicane, but we're going to see another one now. Keep your eye on Daigahara in the rearview mirror. He is going to give me the fright of my life when he dives up the inside. He's never going to get it stopped. He's out onto the grass, over the curbs. Luckily, we anticipated it. We saw him coming and we were able to adjust our line, but that was far too close a call. Yeah, let's take another look and we can see that he's got no chance of getting it stopped. He's right across the track, out onto the grass, over the curb. Luckily, we saw it coming. Start of lap 5 now, and I must admit I'm still a bit rattled from that chicane incident, and I make a slight mistake into turn 1, just drifting out a little bit wider than I would have liked, and all of a sudden we've lost another position. Adrian Ortega finding a way through, so we find ourselves down to 5th. We desperately need to regain some composure quickly. If we don't, we could lose more positions because Cesar Unlu is right behind us now as well. And we've got a back marker to contend with. The cars in front get around him into the chicane, but we don't. And I thought he was going to lose it in front of me then. He was completely out of shape, and as a result, we've lost valuable ground on Ortega, and we're going to be under even more pressure from Cesar Unlu. Oh, I desperately need a quiet lap just to regain my composure at the moment. This is intense at Lime Rock Park, but we're going to end lap 5 down in 5th position, nearly 2 seconds behind Ortega in 4th with a back marker in between the two of us. This isn't looking so good now. And all the while, Unlu is getting closer and closer behind. Look how close he is in the rearview mirror now. 0.1 of a second. We've got no choice but to defend into this left-hander. Oh, meanwhile, in front, there's a big instant. It looks like we've lost the entire leading pack. 3 of the top 4 are out onto the grass. This is a golden opportunity for us now. Oh no!
On your left, 2 wide. Clear on the left. Right side. Clear, right side. Clear on the right. They say you cut the course. You'll have to slow down and give up the time going. Looks like your car is towed. You'll need to tow back to pit lane.
Absolutely speechless. I had no idea what hit me, and for the second race in a row, my car was ruined. We can see from the replay it was Bussell in second position spinning that caused all this. He was run into by Daigahara, and then Adrian Ortega also gets taken out. That's second, third and 4th off track. At this point I thought I'd won the lottery, but watch Cesar Unlu behind me. He is going to try and overtake me on the grass. No wonder I didn't know what hit me. The last thing I was expecting was a car coming at me from that angle. And then to make matters worse, he slides into me a second time. That hit was probably what gave me the terminal damage. Let's ride on board with Cesar. And because he's a bit further back, he's got more time to react when he sees the incident ahead, but he's going to see the opportunity up the inside onto the grass. As soon as you touch the grass, he can't control it. He slides into me. That's both our races ruined. What a crazy attempt at an overtake. Even if I had seen him, there's no way I could have pulled over to have given him the space because I was already side by side with the back marker, Marco Fries. What an infuriating way to end a race. Well, once again we persevered. After getting the repairs repairs, out we came, back on track to try and finish this race. We actually rejoined in 9th position. So many other people have crashed in this race too, and when we start lap 11 we get promoted up to 8th. That's because the number 14 Salvatore Ravine lost it at turn 1 on the previous lap and needed to get repairs. Now what's caused damage here, you might ask? Well, it's not the spin, it's once he's back on track he is going to get tagged by none other than Cesar. Well, we spent the rest of the race chasing down Alessandro Spiaggi in the number 11 car. We were a lot quicker than him, but we just couldn't find a way through, much like with Alstein in the first race, until Spiaggi made this mistake at the start of lap 13. Luckily, we were able to react just in the nick of time to avoid running into him and potentially having another trip to the pits for repairs, so this promoted us up into 7th position. And that's where we stayed. We're going to cross the line to take the checkered flag in 7th. Not a bad finish at all, considering we had to pit for repairs, but so frustrating. And I'm not going to lie, at the end of this race I was more than a little annoyed with that incident. It was a golden opportunity for a podium taken away from me. And the fastest laps back up that statement too. A 51.9 for me. Okay, not nearly as quick as the leading two, Norbert Ivanicki and Daigihara, but we should have been in the mix for that 3rd place. So yeah, now can you see why I was feeling so frustrated? It was an absolute nightmare of a day. We missed out on the opportunity to take 7th position in race 1 because of this almighty smash, and then it got even worse in race 2. If only I'd seen Cesar making that lunge down the inside, maybe I could have eased off, given him more space, I don't know. I always try and prepare myself to expect the unexpected in sim racing, but even I didn't expect that. Well, let me know what you thought in the comments below, and thank you ever so much for watching.